The Unforgivable curses are considered the most deadly dark spells in existence. They can cause irreversible damage in the wrong hands, and even in the hands of what one would call a responsible wizard, they are still 100% illegal. Any use of one or more of the Unforgivable curses will earn you a one-way trip to Azkaban, and trust me, that cell will be permanently locked behind you. However, upon looking at a couple of other incredibly powerful spells, I couldn't help but wonder why they weren't also illegal, because they're quite devastating, possibly even more so than some of the Unforgivable curses. It's been about 3 years since I made a 5 facts or top 5 list, so just for the sake of the videos that really launched this channel, I'm going to name my 5 spells, 5 curses really, that I believe should be considered unforgivable and be made illegal. So let's get to it. Before this video begins, I'd like to thank today's sponsor, Surfshark. Everyone, Surfshark is an incredibly powerful VPN that gives you everything you need in order to make sure your privacy is protected. Passwords, accounts, and personal data can all be easily hacked by online criminals who want to not only steal your information for their own personal gain, but to sell it on to others also. That can all be prevented with Surfshark, the VPN that allows you to disguise your IP address as if it was located in another country of your choice. It doesn't stop there, however, guys. By choosing another country, you can actually gain access to blocked content that may not be available in your home country. For those of you who aren't based in Australia or New Zealand, you can log into Surfshark, change your location to Australia for example, and enjoy both Fantastic Beasts movies on Netflix with a lot of other content too. So don't delay, sign up now and you'll get 85% off. You'll also get 3 months free. You can use Surfshark on an unlimited amount of devices, and best of all, you get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you don't feel satisfied, then the option is there to get your money back. So sign up now by clicking the link in the description below. It's actually so refreshing to go back to the content that originally got me my first 100, first 1000, actually first 50,000 subscribers, but this will be a once-off video just because I wanted to take a visit back down memory lane. So let's talk about the curses I strongly feel should be made illegal. Now, before I start, I'm sure a lot of you have your own picks that you feel should be classed as unforgivable yourselves, and we might cross paths in our spell choices, so make sure to comment your own 5 spells down below, because here's mine. So at number 5, we've got a spell that will straight up end a person's life if they are hit with it, and that's Bombarda Maxima. Now, this is an explosion spell, of which there are a few, but this spell took out a Hogwarts wall. More importantly, the wall that separated the room of requirement from the open halls.
Bombarda Maxima.
So basically, it makes things blow up, which means it can make you blow up, like literally into pieces. Chunks of wizard flying through the air. How is that legal? How can anyone be allowed to use this? Maybe there could be some sort of restriction on it for demolition purposes, but for humans, it's gotta be unforgivable in my eyes. I don't know, maybe you guys will see it differently. I hope you don't, because it blows people up. Anyway, let's move on to my next spell choice. At number 4, we've got one that shouldn't be so surprising, and that is Legilimens.
Legilimens.
This is a seriously invasive spell. Legilimens, as many of you are already aware, allows one to enter the mind of your opponent, or just a normal person. Through the use of the spell, you can access a person's mind and have free range of it. You can access memories, happy and sad, and even tell if a wizard is lying by viewing the situation or person in question and replaying the event for yourself. I think it is an unforgivable crime to enter a person's head and view their most private and personal memories and thoughts, and it should never be allowed. We've seen Voldemort use this spell to his advantage in order to torment his opponents. Through Legilimens, the Dark Lord was not only able to access one's memories, but also implant false ones, horrific ones that would torture people to the brink of them begging for death, and only then would he kill them. He used this on Harry Potter by implanting a vision of Sirius Black being tortured in order to lure Harry to the Ministry so he could retrieve the prophecy. Legilimens should never be taught and should be deemed illegal. I know Occlumens is the way to fight it, but that takes extreme mental discipline on its own. Anyway, let's move on to number 3. This spell is well known, easy to execute, but also extremely deadly, and that's Obliviate. The memory loss or memory erasing charm. I've said the same thing with Legilimens. Messing with someone's memory is really wrong. It's one thing to access their memories, but to permanently erase them is another. To take an event or number of events where a person has created meaningful, happy memories and erase it, take it away from them, is just beyond unforgivable. We've seen the best example of this from Gilderoy Lockhart, former Defense Against the Dark Arts professor who featured in the Chamber of Secrets. This man would befriend and interview wizards and witches who battled and defeated magical beasts and creatures, would then write down detailed notes of their epic journeys, and permanently erase their memories and claim their adventures for his own. He made a hefty chunk of money from it too. Absolutely despicable. For me, and hopefully for you all, the power to erase someone's memory should be banned and suffer a sentence in Azkaban if ever used. So guys, that was my first 3 spells that I genuinely believe should be banned by the Ministry, and we're coming down to the final 2. Now, although they're both extremely powerful, one seems to be more difficult to control than the other, but one seems to be pretty physically devastating. So at number 2, my choice is Fiendfyre. This spell is literally beyond crazy dangerous. It requires a highly skilled wizard to control, and the wand conjures a giant creature made of fire such as lions, eagles and serpents. We see really one bad example of it when Vincent Crabbe conjured it in the book. This was substituted by Gregory Goyle conjuring it in the movie instead. His Fiendfyre originally took the shape of a snake but morphed into a dragon that consumed the whole room of requirement. His lack of control to tame the fire beast actually resulted in him losing his life, engulfed in the flames he created, and he nearly killed Draco, Harry, Hermione and Ron along with him. Voldemort's example was utterly flawless. He conjured it wandlessly, and it would have proven to be devastating had it not been for a Wizard of Dumbledore's skill to stop it. Because of its deadly potential to be unbelievably harmful, and its major difficulty to control, Fiendfyre takes second place on my list of curses that should be deemed unforgivable. So we're down to the final curse, a curse so deadly that the only reason it wasn't made unforgivable was because nobody knew of its existence. I know many of you are already aware of what I'm going to say. Number 1 is Sectumsempra. This spell just screams darkness and is embedded with the scars of black magic. It is purely meant to harm and to kill. There's no wand movement or waving. You direct your wand at your opponent and speak the incantation. Sectumsempra unleashes deep, puncturing sword-like gashes all across the victim's body. Slashes that cannot be healed with stitches. The wounds cannot be closed, and the purpose is for the person in question to bleed to death. There is only one way this spell can be addressed after making its impact, and that's by use of the counter curse Vulnera Sanitur. The incantation eases the blood flow, knits the wounds, and removes the worst of the curse's dark magic effects. Out of all of them, it should be considered unforgivable, but the thing is, especially with Sectumsempra, nobody knows of its existence. As I said, it was invented discreetly by Severus Snape. Only he knows the counter curse. The only reason Harry Potter even knew about it was because he found it in Snape's old potions book. Otherwise, I think there's strong grounds for the curse's illegality. I also feel incredibly guilty for thinking that Sectumsempra is the coolest curse ever, because it's so devastating. Anyway guys, just a short top 5 video today. As I said, it's been a while since I've done this kind of content, but I did enjoy making the video. Make sure to check out my other video on my upcoming animated series, Riddle, an animated story based on the early life of Tom Riddle. Thanks again, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate your support. Everyone, notifications of uploads are more important than ever. So please, if you haven't already, turn those notifications on to make sure you're notified the moment my video goes live. Making videos is what I love to do. It's my dream and my passion. However, it does cost time and money to produce this content. So if you have $1 to spare to support me on Patreon in exchange for some exclusive unseen content, then you can click the Patreon link below or at the end of this video. Please only support me if you can afford it. And make sure to follow me on Instagram at InstaDNJ and on Twitter at Folklore. Check out my other videos appearing on screen, and please make sure, most importantly, to hit that subscribe button. Thanks again everyone, and please have a great day.